Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Stolly Dolly Scaries.
I'm your host, John Ritchie Jr.
And I'm your host, Kyryn. And today we will be watching Halloween, of course, because it's Halloween. Yay!
Happy Halloween. I might start breaking out into song and just like, oh, Paul, he's my all.
Good stuff. Good stuff. What's the tagline now?
Oh, the night he came home.
Ooh.
It's a lot.
He came home. Yes, yes. Today's drink is going to be the Michael Myers Martini, of course. It's delightful. It's very simple to make. It only has 3 ingredients. And we will be taking a sip anytime Michael Myers is watching someone creepily. So prepare to be bombed because that is the whole fucking movie.
I'm wasted.
To find the recipe and the ingredients, please visit our Instagram at Stolly Dolly Scaries. All right, let's do it. So Halloween was released in theaters on October 25th, 1978, directed by our boy John Carpenter, starring our favorite gal, our queen, Miss Jamie Lee Curtis, Nancy Loomis, PJ Souls, and Donald Pleasance. Pleasance? Donald Pleasance. So the movie starts out with that iconic music. We get the opening titles: Haddonfield, Illinois, Halloween night, 1963. We pan in on this adorable little house, and we get a POV of somebody. We don't know who, but there's somebody who's looking in the windows of this house. We see these 2 teens making out, having a good time. The guy says, let's go upstairs, eyebrow wiggle. Side note, she's way more attractive than him. He's not a good-looking guy, and he needs a haircut. They go upstairs. The POV, whoever it is, goes into the house, and we see their arm open up a drawer, and we realize it's a kid. It's like a kid arm and like a clown costume.
The directing is such that it feels very voyeuristic. It feels very cold. It feels like, the teens inside mentioned something about, oh, Michael's around here somewhere. So it feels like her younger brother or a cousin or something. John Carpenter wrote the score for this in 3 days. The music is insane.
What's so crazy about that is I also read that, but I read that he shot the movie 22 days. It was like one of the shortest filming sessions ever. And in and out. And he presented it to the studio, and they're like, we don't get it. We don't get it. We don't like it. And he went back to his house, and he wrote the score, and he put that music with it, and he presented it to them, and they're like, oh, okay, we get it. And I kind of see that because the music is like a character in itself. It's so imperative to the whole storyline. It's our warning that Michael's around the corner. It's like this foreboding essence that is so necessary to the success of it that I can't even imagine that he presented it without no music. He was just like, I don't
just
even
like a silent film. I mean,
well, because
I would still be kind of terrified from the directing, honestly, if it were a silent film.
But when you're watching a scary movie and you don't want to be scared, I always mute it. Like when I'm scared and I mute it, and the music is so important to the fear factor of movies that I'm just like, I can't even imagine. And that's so important to this film. But yeah, he's a boss that he could do that. So anyway, little hand comes out, opens a kitchen drawer. He's in like a clown costume, it looks like, and he opens the kitchen drawer and he takes out a knife, and he kind of waits in the living room, and we see the unattractive teen put on his shirt. He's coming down the stairs. He's like, yeah, I'll call you. No, he won't. He leaves. Then this little POV, whoever this is, goes up the stairs, and he sees who we know, his sister, Judith, brushing her hair, fully nude. She's right by a window. It's very brazen of Judith, but regardless, she's brushing her hair. She's having some thoughts. He goes towards Judith and she says, Michael! And we see him stab her. And why didn't she just kick him away? Is my question. Like, he wasn't some big, like, strangler. He was a little, and we find out later how little, but he's a little boy. He's a little kid. And I'm so surprised that she just takes it and it isn't just like does one of these like moves where you like hold their face at arm's length and he wouldn't be able to do anything. But she doesn't do that. She takes it. He stabs her. He kills her. He walks downstairs out the front door and we see this couple pull up. They get out. I'm assuming his parents. And they're like, Michael? And they take off the mask. We're released from the point of view perspective. And we turned around and we see this really adorable little boy. I mean, like really cute. And what's interesting to me is he doesn't even look like menacing or like he looks like confused, like, what? And he's like holding this knife like something has come upon him or something and caused him to do this and he doesn't even know what he's done. Very intriguing.
Also, this knife is like as long as a leg. When compared to this child's body, I swear it's 2 feet long. Might as well be a machete. But also, I'm just as confused about her reaction. I mean, like, yeah, get stabbed once, like kick him, or like instead of I get it. You're shocked, and also you're trying to cover up and. But
her door is wide open. She's trying to cover up. Like, shut your door, Judith. If you want to brush your hair naked, that's fine. But like, her door is fucking open. Her blinds are open. She wouldn't have had nothing.
Yeah, I think also the parents' reaction is a little dismal.
The mom, all I wrote is the mom is like sitting with like her hands like in her pocket, just like watching it. Like,
why is my son holding a butcher knife?
What's going on here? Huh. Like when they pan out and we see the mom's reaction, I'm like, yo, y'all have seen something. I cannot believe that that would be the reaction to have. A little bit of a question mark.
There's a lot of question marks here, but I think that, it was effective. The scene in itself, I was scared the whole time.
Yeah. Then we get another title, Smith Grove, Illinois, October 30th, 1978. I think that's 15 years? 15 years later. And we see a man and a woman driving in a car who the man will come to find out is Dr. Loomis. And he's driving with what is clearly a nurse, talking about a patient who will come to find out is Michael, the little boy that we just saw. And they're going to pick him up to transfer him to, I guess, a different hospital, a different mental hospital, a more secure facility. And Dr. Loomis is just honing in on like how evil Michael is and how he must be locked up. So they're just laying the groundwork for like, this dude hasn't changed and he's gotten more evil with time. And they pull up to the mental hospital. It's dark and raining outside and all these mental patients are outside in like their gowns and like, well, is this normal? Like, what's going on here? So Dr. Loomis hops out of the car. I don't know why the fuck he hops out of the car. I don't know what his plan was here, but he goes to the gate. I don't know if he's trying to figure out what's going on. And in the meantime, we see somebody. This is a really creepy scene. We see somebody crawl up onto the top of the car and their hand comes down and they shatter. It must have been a stone hand. I don't think there's any world in which that would have happened, especially because it wasn't even like a fist. It was like one of these moves, like psh, and it fucking shatters the window. And the nurse is able to crawl out of the car, and we see somebody hop in the driver's seat and drive away. And Dr. Loomis comes running over and is like, are you all right? Oh, he's gone. He's gone. The evil is gone from here. He's very dramatic. He should have been a theater actor. Perhaps he was, but he's very distraught because he knows that it was Michael and he knows he's gone and he's got a fucking car and he is just on to do evil things.
The fact that he knows how to drive right off the gate, right out the bat, I had a lot of questions. Come on.
A determined man can do
A
anything.
determined man from 6 to, what is he now? 20. He's 21. He's never been in a car. He's never seen the light of day. He's been in a padded room, this kid. And, like when I learned to drive, even when I took the class and then I got in a car for the first time, I was like, how do I move this thing down to put it in drive?
Yeah.
Right? Like there was a lot there where I was just like, all right, that's a reach.
A bit. That's a movie for you. Little plot holes here and there. But
he also, like the way that we see him in the rest of this film compared to him jumping up on a car roof and then scurrying down to get in the driver's seat, it's not very Michael movement. I would say.
Yes, I do agree. He is a very controlled, slow movement for the rest of the movie. And this is a little bit more, there's an urgency. Try and get in this car. That him hopping up on that car, though, I kept trying to pause it to like get a better like view of him. Like when he does it, it's really because this and then the very end of the movie is the only time we really get to see his face. And I really want to see his face. Ever. All right. Another title card. These people love their title cards. Haddonfield, Halloween. We get our first glimpse of our girl Lori, Miss Jamie Lee Curtis. She is walking out of her house in this really adorable little outfit, which, side note, everybody on this film paid for their own costumes. She went to JCPenney's. She bought all of her outfits for under $100. Gotta love pennies. And she is walking to school. When we see a young boy run up to her, Tommy, and they're just chatting. She's going to babysit him tonight. He's asking if they can do jack-o'-lanterns. They're having some cute little convo. They walk past the Myers house, which is the house from the beginning of the movie, and she's going up to put a key under the mat because her dad is the realtor, Strode Realty, and he's going to sell the house. Good luck to him. And as she's going up to put the key under the mat, the little boy is like, "Oh, you can't go there. That's what's he call it? He calls it like a spook house or something.
A haunted house."
So he's like, "You can't go up there. It's a spook house. It's haunted, whatever." And she's like, "Yes, I can." She goes up. She puts the key under the mat, and as she's leaving, we get that first like, "Jing!" And Michael Myers. We see his like shadow that he's inside the house, and he sees her. They keep on walking, but Michael Myers at this point has left the house and he goes out to watch her. But my thought is, if she hadn't gone up to that house and done that, would he ever have had this obsession with her? Because it's very clear, which she puts the key under the mat, she leaves, and he comes out and he's staring at her, which, drink alert, he's being creepy and weird and, but he's staring at her, and it's like boom, obsession created. Like just her walking up, just him seeing her was enough, and all of a sudden she was target. Poor little Laurie Strode. That's all it took. Doing a favor for her daddy. Very sad. A fun fact about the Myers house, I didn't know this. So when they found this house for the filming, it was already dilapidated. Like it looked like it did in the movie. It was an abandoned shithole. And they filmed it, and then for the last scene, the whole crew banded together and they painted it and they fixed it up. They put furniture inside it so they could film that beginning shot. But it was this abandoned house, and I'm just like, how fun for that little house. It was probably sad. It was sitting there, just wanting to be loved, and now it's like an icon. People like it's a historical landmark. They've moved it to Pasadena. Like now it's like a little treasure. But it was just this like random abandoned little house.
Yeah.
Look at it blow up.
Let's talk about that real quick because it was moved the year I was born, so 36 years ago now, which is interesting. And it was also in Pasadena, California, and they're convincing us that this is Haddonfield, which is a fictional town in Illinois. Same difference. There's some Easter eggs in there. You can see like a palm tree somewhere as they're walking throughout the town. But Haddonfield, for me, where I grew up in New Jersey, was right around the corner. And so I was terrified even more watching this when I was younger. But also, like in true John Carpenter fashion, he named, like all of the characters and the things off of people that he either knew or came in contact with. So yeah, there was what was it, a co-writer,
Deborah
producer?
Hill, yeah.
Yeah. Her hometown was Haddonfield, New Jersey, which
Oh, I love that little fact.
wild.
I know. If I could ever afford to live in Haddonfield, New Jersey, fucking crazy. Most
I
of the
would live
Phillies
there.
live there. It's crazy. Like, it is rich town.
I would live
Beautiful
there.
homes. Oh,
I would live there.
100%.
It's wonderful.
Anyway, so he comes out. He sees her. He thinks that's the one. Little Tommy leaves to go to school. She continues to walk. Wish I had you all alone. Singing to herself, just not a care in the world. That's about to change, Lori. Let me tell you, your world's about to be fucked for the next 40 years. Then we cut back to Dr. Loomis, and he is freaking the fuck out. He's talking to the director of, I think it's the director, somebody in charge at the mental hospital, like, how somebody gave him lessons. How could this happen? He's evil. And again, I think this is just laying the groundwork for us to try to understand just how dangerous this human being is. It's not just a little, 6-year-old that made a mistake. He's pure evil.
Yeah. It's kind of a glimpse into the connection that Loomis and Michael have that we don't really understand, but this man's been talking to him for 15 years.
Yeah.
And so he knows a lot more than we do, but I do like that at least this head of department guy or whatever says, like, the kid can't even drive, and Loomis is like, he was doing fine last night. So
maybe somebody gave him lessons. He has like such a bravado when he talks. I wish I had that.
Mm-hmm.
You listen to what Dr. Loomis says, what DL says.
On the DL. That's what that means. That's where that came from. On the DL. It's not down low. It's on the Dr. Loomis.
It's on the Dr. Loomis. But that's
I'm going to take
one.
that. I'm going to take that.
From, what was it? That John Carpenter, he named Dr. Loomis after Sam Loomis from Psycho.
Yeah.
Which is just such a because Jamie Lee Curtis's mom played Marion in Psycho, and it's like the web that has been weaved here is astounding.
And then the side by side, us and Scream and Billy Loomis. I mean, come on.
Oh, I didn't even make that connection because we said that because Wes Craven is such a fan. Yeah. Like,
there's so many references to Halloween.
Loomis.
Look at these generations melding together.
So again, he's just talking to this director. He's telling him how dangerous Michael is. He's freaked out. We cut back to Lori, who is in class. She's kind of looking out the window, and she sees a man standing there in a white mask, just fucking locked in on her, staring at her. Drink alert. Creepy.
Terrifying.
Big
just
time.
This white mask staring at you while you're at school, second period.
Something I can't. I know I'm gonna say this a million times, but why isn't she like, hey, does nobody else see that guy out there? Like, he is really creepy. You see a man in a Halloween mask like looking at you, and she just is kind of like, huh, that's weird. She's called on by the teacher. She answers. She looks back. He's gone. Boop boop beep boop. Very quick. Nobody's as quick as Mikey. He is fast.
Maybe old Jamie Lee was hitting the old devil's lettuce before school because
she's a good girl.
Well,
you know
is
what?
she?
You're right.
Is she a good girl?
Later on.
Yeah, I say I'm a good girl too, and then look what happens.
That's true.
I see you, Jamie.
That's a good point. Cut right to she's walking home with Linda and Annie, and they're just talking, just shooting the breeze. They're talking about homecoming. I think it's I'm assuming homecoming dance the next day. And as they're walking, they see a car drive by, and they think it's one of their friends. Not one of their friends. They think it's somebody they know. And Annie calls out to him and says, "Hey, jerk! Speed kills." And he stops all of a sudden. Oh, you know what I didn't mention? So when he drives by them, he looks over, and it's fucking Michael being a creep. So, drink alert. It's just kind of a creepy moment. They don't know what's going on. They kind of look a little like, they look a little concerned. They're like, huh? Like, he can't take a joke. And then he like slowly drives off.
A lot in this scene. I don't even know Linda's the actress name.
PJ Souls.
PJ Souls, God bless you.
Well, she's the bitch in Carrie. She's a
Oh,
really mean girl in Carrie who wears that baseball cap all the time.
honestly,
Yeah.
we're getting to meet Laurie's friends, and honestly, we're also finding out that Laurie is kind of a wet blanket. She's a little nerdy, a little whatever. And when you were commenting on her outfit, I was saying nerd alert.
Penny.
But because when we see her two friends, Annie and Linda are fucking cool girls. They're coming outside with a cig. They're walking through the fucking neighborhood. I think Linda is very funny in all of her talking about like books. Why do you need a book? I forget my math book and my science book and whatever. And as all that is happening, that's when this stalker is driving by. And, oh, is that what's his name? I think he's really cute. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's like typical girly convo.
Mm-hmm.
And then the part that is scary is when he does like drive off really fast and then cuts it short when Annie says speed kills, because I feel like you always get scared about adults. I remember being like a young kid and I was a piece of shit like all around. I would just like there was one time where I went out with my friends and it was during winter and we threw snowballs at cars, like in somewhat of the night, but like
you're
also
from Jersey,
Yeah. But also, there was one time I threw a snowball at a car. They stopped in their tracks and started chasing us.
That's just
terrified. So this brought me back to a little bit of that. It harkened back to this specific memory where just like you really don't know what fucking people are capable of, because I'll fucking stop the car and get out, and then what?
That was really bold of you to do.
I ran as fast as I could into the woods and dove into a ditch to cover myself so that they would stop.
Sure.
Yeah, kids will be kids, right?
Kids will be kids. I mean, and this was just such a slight, like, hey, jerk, speed kill. Like, it was not a big, she didn't throw a rock at the car. Like, it was a very small thing. And so for this stranger to have this reaction was a bit jarring. I get their concern. But he drives off. I will say, we are supposed to think that they are filming this, like that these girls are in Haddonfield, Illinois, October 31st. There is not a leaf on the ground. Like they shot this in Pasadena, obviously, and so they did very little to hide.
Spring.
Yeah, they must have been hot as shit walking.
That's what I said.
Tights. Good God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just a little aside. They do try. I can totally see the moments where they try to make you think like there's like leaves kind of blowing on the ground when Laurie's waiting for Annie to pick her up later, and so they try a little bit. But I'm like, yo. No.
I know that Carpenter wanted to change a lot of the like foliage in the post-production, but they didn't have any money. This was made for like $300,000.
Yeah.
So he wanted to do a lot of stuff, but they didn't have the budget.
Oh, show. Linda leaves them like, oh, see you later. So it's just Laurie and Annie. They're walking and Annie's kind of looking down at her books. She's distracted. And Laurie sees up ahead the white masked creep who was looking at her outside the school, who just drove past them. Like she sees this man who's kind of standing in the middle of the sidewalk beside like a large like bush. Not a bush.
Yeah, like hedge.
Bush hedge. It's like a long bush hedge. So he
and
is
standing
beside it.
With that wide angle, you get that long hedge all the way down. That shot for me kills me every time.
Yeah, it's very iconic. So she sees him and she kind of gets a little spooked and she says like, hey, Annie. And as she like tells her, he steps behind the bush and she's like, that man that you yelled at, he's right up there. And fucking Annie has balls. She's like, oh, really? Subtle, is he? And she goes up to fucking tell him off. And she goes up and she like quick moves the bushes and there's nobody there. And she's sassy and she's like, oh, Laurie, he wants to ask you out. And Laurie rushes because I'm like, did she believe her that she was being serious? But no. Laurie comes up and she's like, oh, it's so weird. He was right there. And again, Annie's like, oh, poor Lori, hearing voices again. So Lori walks on home. She goes up to her bedroom. She goes to shut the window that is open, and she looks out, and there is once again, in the span of an hour, she's seen this dude 4 fucking times. He is standing down beneath, it's one of the creepiest shots. He's down standing like in her neighbor's yard, like where the laundry is like blowing in the wind, and he's like standing there just like staring right the fuck up at her, like right into her eyes. And again, she's a little creeped out. She's like, ooh, ooh. And she kind of steps back. She gets a phone call and she's freaked out. She's alarmed, but not to the extent that I think she should be. I'd be on the phone with the police. Although, you know, what would they do? But still, I would have been way more alarmed than she is. She's just kind of like, that's weird. And I understand that, like, teenager mentality of, you never want anything to be wrong, and you never want to really deal with anything. And so I feel like you kind of live in this realm of, like, not delusional, but like you don't want to recognize that there's an actual problem. And so rather than really like, this is an actual issue and this man is following me and stalking me, it's like, it's much easier to just believe, oh, it's nothing and it's in my head. And to her credit, he fucking disappears right away into the wind. Like he was never there. Like she looks away and he's gone. Like nothing. So I understand wanting to believe that for sure. But again, maybe,
yeah.
I'm just like, dog, 3 strikes, you're out. This is the 4th time you've seen this dude in an hour. And he is looking right at you. Like, it's time to be concerned. I know it's annoying to take a fact, but it's time to talk to people.
And there's also moments like that, even before she goes inside, where she just like says something about like still believing in superstition, kiddo. Or she has like moments of pep talks with herself where she's just like, just chalk it up to like, not that big. I'm seeing shit. It's Halloween, you know.
It's
really,
a lot easier to believe that. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I would see one white mask once and be like, I'm not going anywhere alone.
Oh. Let me talk to my parents. I don't know. Lori, there are a lot of moments you could have made some decisions, but she don't do it. She's leaving the house next scene to go babysit Tommy. Annie's picking her up because Annie's babysitting right across the street. They'll keep each other company. And this is a really cute scene. She's coming out of the house with her little pumpkin. She's sitting on the corner. It's so iconic. And I really want to visit Pasadena because the house that this was shot at, they're really known for being really friendly to like people that are fans of the movie. They have a bunch of pumpkins on their porch, so you can take a picture in the spot that Lori sits with her pumpkins, and it's a cute shot before her life is fucking ruined and turned upside down forever. It's sweet.
Also, the fashions now much better than before.
Girl,
much better than before.
She's got her bell bottoms on. She's got pumpkin. She's ready for a good night. So Annie picks her up, gives her a little doobie, puff, puff. They roll on. They're having just, girl chats about boys she likes. She's got a crush on Ben Tramer and, just innocence free as they're driving. This is so weird to me. So as they're driving, they're smoking their doobie. They're having their good time. They're having their girl talk. And Annie starts to freak out. She's like, oh my God, it's my dad. But her dad is like really far up, and like she could have just turned down a different street. Like they made it seem like she makes it seem like her dad has like jumped into the car with them. Like she could have just taken a different turn. But we see up at her dad, the sheriff, is at a little hardware store that has been robbed, and so she sees it up ahead and she decides to stop. Again, she didn't have to stop. There's a lot of decisions Annie could have made. I don't know why she made this so dramatic, but she stops at the hardware store to say hi to her dad. It's been robbed. They have a little chat. He tells them that he thinks it's a bunch of kids. They stole a couple Halloween masks, a rope, and some knives. And I'm like, dog, that sounds like a serial killer. Why wouldn't that be concerning to you? A store was robbed and all was stolen was something to shield your identity and a weapon. You know what I mean? he just talks about, oh, just a bunch of kids. I'm like, they stole some pretty, concerning things. That's concerning.
I think the sheriff, who we find out later, like, is thinking of this town like little boxes on a hillside. Doesn't think that anything, is just some kids robbing the store or whatever, taking shit to play pranks, and he's not thinking serial killer.
No. Everybody's got the same mentality as these kids that, like, oh, it's a little town. What could happen? That
shit happened 15 years ago. I don't know where that. Everything since then, golden rainbows.
True that. So they talk to her daddy. They roll away to their babysitting job, and as they're driving, we see, and I don't know how the fuck they don't see that old Mikey is following them in his stolen car, and he's not even making it tough. Like, he's literally right behind them. He's like on their fucking bumper tailing them. They don't notice, which, whatever, to kids. So he's following them. He hasn't forgotten about them. He's watching these babes. So they roll onto their babysitting gig.
Right before that, though, I think it's important to know that Loomis, before he goes to the sheriff, also goes to the gravestone of Judith Myers, who is the sister that was killed. We later find out. And her headstone is inexplicably ripped out of the ground, which, are you trying to tell us that Michael has superhuman strength? Are you trying to tell us that this man in a white mask just went to a graveyard, pulled out his sister's headstone, and just, like, without any equipment, just, like, hoisted it over his arm and just, like, taken it? So I don't know what the plan was with that, but it's very interesting.
I agree. And, but also, I don't know why Loomis went to the graveyard. Like, I don't know why. Did he think that Michael would do that? I don't know why he went there.
Again, the uncanny connection between Michael and Loomis feels like, I know exactly what this kid is thinking. I know exactly where he's going. There's a reason why he was like, he's going home. He's traveling 150 miles back to Haddonfield so that he can go back into his childhood home. He's got a lot of shit boiling in there. But then again, he also says that this kid hasn't talked for 15 years. Right. So that's also interesting. What, did you just read his mind for 15 years?
Well, you know what? It's funny when you really try to analyze this movie on a different level than I ever have before. It is kind of absurd how much Dr. Loomis talks about the evil of Michael, and he stared at a wall for 8 years and his eyes were black like the devil, and like, they really hammer it into our minds and our hearts that Michael Myers is danger, baby. And you know what? We didn't need all that. I really feel like they effectively made that known on it in the first scene. Honestly, first scene, I kind of knew that. But second scene, for sure. Third scene, fourth scene, fifth scene. Like, we know, baby. DL has made it clear this man is danger with a capital D. So I don't think we needed all of these scenes, even though Donald Pleasance is amazing. Like, he is urgency. Like, his whole role, like, nobody can play that like him. So, I mean, claps. But yes, the graveyard scene is really important. That's when we get that big iconic line when they go up to the graveyard, the gravestone, and they see that he's ripped out Judith Myers' gravestone for some unknown reason. Dr. Loomis, like, looks away, kind of, he came home. We get that, like it's like a big scene, and we get the tagline of the whole movie, he came home. So,
but then, once Loomis gets to the sheriff and they have that conversation, it's like, how long has this alarm been going off? And that was the conversation about how long has he had the mask on, if that's what we're supposed to believe.
Well, that's what I thought. I was like, because he's had that mask forever. Like, we haven't seen him without the mask since he crawled up on the car. And so he broke into that store a long time ago. Nobody was able that alarm? Nobody wanted to disable that alarm?
That alarm has been going off for God knows how long. They
Those
just
poor
got to
neighbors.
it. They had
Yeah.
more pressing matters in the snoozy town to deal with. A cat in a tree, maybe. An alarm at the hardware store? No, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Very weird. Very weird. So yeah, we get this little scene with Dr. Loomis and the graveyard caretaker. I don't know what he is. He's a little creepy, but we find out the gravestone's been taken. Dun dun dun, and he has come home. Like, we needed that type of confirmation.
Stamp.
We knew that.
It was a stamp.
We knew that. So the girlies get to the houses. Annie drops off Lori. She goes to take care of Tommy Doyle, and then Annie is right across the street, and she's taking care of Lindsay Wallace. We see Michael get out of the car and kind of watch Annie go into the house, which, drink alert, creepy. He hides behind a tree, little freak. I really do want like a whole movie, just a whole storyline on him getting into the situations that he gets into. So like him taking that gravestone, I want to see that happen because we see him as this controlled, slow. Like, I want to see him like trying to get this gravestone out, and I want to see him like getting into the car and hiding to kill Annie and putting on the sheet to like mimic Bob. And like, there's so many things he does that are so weird. And like, is he giggling to himself when he does it? Like, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions because really all we get from him is his heavy breathing, which is ultra creepy. My boy needs help. He needs a lozenge. He's having trouble. But it is so wild to me, I think, how much he watches these gals. But Annie goes into the house. He's watching from behind a tree. He kind of hides. He's looking at her. And then we cut back to Dr. Loomis, and he's talking to the sheriff. They're walking up to the Myers house. He's briefing him on the whole situation, how dangerous Michael is and pure evil. And, you know, they go into the house. This is weird to me. So maybe you can clarify this. When they walk into the house, I only know this because I put the caption on this time, but do they see a dead dog? They see a dead dog. Mm-hmm. Why did they see a dead dog? Why did he kill a dog?
Well, Loomis says appropriately, he must have been hungry. It's still warm. And I was thinking in the same moment, like, obviously nobody is thinking that it's alarming for this white masked figure to just be walking around town because it's an adult on Halloween. So don't you think he could have just walked into a convenience store and grabbed himself a sandwich or something? Dug through some trash, you know, in the neighbor's yard. Instead, he had a thirst for blood and fur, apparently. But then the sheriff said, oh, that could have been a possum or a raccoon or something.
Yeah. I don't ever remember. Look, you know, my biggest thing with movies, I don't like it when anything happens to them puppies. I don't like dogs being killed. That's when I turn the shit off normally. And I know there is a dog killing later in the movie. We don't see it, but we see it. We see, like, it's very sad, and I don't like that one. And so I know about that one, but I don't remember this. Again, it's only because I had the caption on, because they don't show anything. They just see, like, oh, what's that? Dead dog? It's warm. I should have been hungry. Nobody really questions it. Alarmingly weird. But they see that. They go upstairs. They go into Judith's room. And Dr. Loomis is kind of waxing poetic. It's kind of weird. He's like, this is where she was probably sitting. He probably saw her. He looked down and then we get a big jump scare, which I didn't remember this fucking jump scare until I watched this time, and I fucking jumped. I was like, whoa! Like, something like comes down and crashes and hits the window. And it is alarming. And Dr. Loomis is like scared. Like, he like does jump, and the sheriff's like, oh, just see.
He's got a, don't worry, I got a permit for this.
Yeah. The sheriff's like,
He's
oh, you seem scared. You seem jumpy. And Dr. Loomis says, yes, I am scared. Michael. So he's freaked out. He's having a hard time. He's scared. He knows the gravity of what is going on. And so he tells the sheriff, like, look, I know Michael's going to come back to this house tonight. He's coming home. And so I'm going to stand out in the bushes all night. I'm going to wait for his ass. And the sheriff's like, okay, you know, like, I think he says, I'll patrol. I'm not going to stay here, but like, we'll send some people eventually, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But Dr. Loomis is going to hold vigil outside of Myers' house, and he's going to wait for him to come home. So back to Lori babysitting. She's reading old Tommy a book. She gets a call from Annie, who tells her that she had a very interesting conversation with Ben Tramer, and he was really interested that you were attracted to him. And they're just having this conversation. Lori's embarrassed, blah, blah, blah. As they're having this conversation, little Tommy Doyle sees Michael Myers outside the house, literally just standing there, and he immediately knows, and he runs over to Laurie, and he's freaked, but Laurie just kind of like shushes him and is like, oh, it's nothing. He's like, the boogeyman's outside, the boogeyman. And she just kind of makes him feel like stupid, dismisses the poor child. In the meantime, while Annie is talking to Laurie, she's cooking something, and it spills on her, and inexplicably, she instead of just like cleaning it up, she hangs up on Laurie, and then she takes off her clothes, all of them, her pants, her shirt, her bra. She is fucking naked in this kitchen. I'm like, yo, get a damn cloth. Get a damn cloth and some seltzer water. That was an extreme thing to do in a stranger's house that you're babysitting. But as she's doing this, we had another creepy Michael looking at her through the window. Icky. So she grabs, I don't know where she grabs like a tuxedo shirt. Like it's like a very long, like button down that she just found somewhere. She puts on the button down, and then she goes to take her clothes. She goes to the laundry room, which is outside the house. Very unfortunate. And while she's in here, the door shuts. It locks. I don't know how he did that. Very magical.
I don't either. I was trying to look for like a hand to pull like the window part like a little bit further, because he is just outside the door at one point. Just when it shuts.
We see him. The amount of times we see this dude lurking is truly unbelievable. It's absurd.
Unreal.
Throughout this movie. Honestly, he's a master.
He's a true stalker.
Truly.
Just
nobody
like
can do it like
trying
Mikey.
to understand almost.
That, oh my God. Let me see. So Peel have been weird on my little Halloween countdown. So for Halloween Kills, I put that as 12. Fucking hate that movie. And somebody commented and said, Mikey does what Mikey does best. Kill, kill, kill.
Wow.
You know what? It's opened my eyes, because I always assumed everybody felt the way that I felt. Which was slightly selfish point of view. But I felt like people would understand that Laurie is our hero, and Laurie is the true one that, like, I don't watch these movies to see Michael brutally kill people. I watch it for the suspense, and I watch it because I want to feel the same shit that I felt watching the original. I don't watch it because I want to see somebody's insides torn out. That's not anything to me, but people really watch it. People loved Halloween Kills. People adored it, and I did not know that. But Mikey does what Mikey does best. Kill, kill, kill.
Mikey, motorcycle. That movie should not have been made. So I'm going to comment on the person who commented, and I'm going to give them a lesson.
I'm scared for your safety.
I'm going to give them a lesson. You know what? I feel very comfortable. I live on the 5th floor of a building. Nobody's touching me. Nobody's flying in. Okay? I'm going to come for their ass.
I feel you're right. You got a code again.
Terrible movie.
Terrible.
Ghostface called me. He wouldn't be able to get up to the top. Nope. Yeah. I got a little pull down shade.
You're
over here on my windows.
Yeah, you're untouchable.
Untouchable.
So Annie gets stuck inside this little laundry garage room, and she's calling for Lindsay. She's calling for her. She doesn't hear her. So she hears the phone ring. She's like, oh, it's Paul. So she is desperate to get out of this laundry portal. She tries to climb through the window and she gets her foot stuck. And so her butt is hanging and like she's in this very like, oh, silly position. And Lindsay, phone rings. It's Paul. She goes to get Annie. She's, saves her from honestly probably impending doom. She was about to probably be stabbed at any moment. Mm-hmm. She unlocks the door. She lets her out. She's freed.
I have a comment. She goes out to the laundry room, which is in a shed, like detached from the main house.
Very inconvenient for those parents. For the people that own the house. Can you imagine having to go out to... It's already annoying if it's like in your garage. It's in a whole separate portal.
It's a whole separate portal. Either way, she is ballsy, and I think that's... she was ready to go behind the bush. She's ready to look outside the door. Who is it? Who are you? Whatever. She's ready to climb outside of a window when someone is stalking her. I mean, she doesn't know that, but you know what? She's grabbing that tide. That's for sure.
She gets lost. Clothes. Yeah. We can't let that butter set. You know what I mean?
No, we cannot. Among other things.
Sure.
And she tells Lindsay to promise her that she won't tell anyone about this. And there's like hilarious when they go back inside and Paul calls the house and she's like, she got stuck in a window. She'll be right with you.
You can't trust Kyle Richards. She can't keep a secret. That's all we've learned from this flick.
And there's some witty conversation back and forth between Annie and Paul.
Paul has a hot voice. Is this just me?
Hi, Annie.
Oh, hi, Paul.
Stuck, huh?
All right, cut it out. It can happen to anyone.
Sure, stuck in a window.
Yeah.
I'm on board. I'm listening. I'm all ears.
I never thought that really until you know what, I always thought that. He has a very distinguished man voice. Oh, I don't know. I feel like he would have been. I'm sad we never get to see him.
I know. You know, it's probably for the best. I mean, he made out like a bandit in this film.
A lot of what ifs, man.
You know what? But his ass got grounded for doing some dumb shit like throwing eggs at a house or something. And so he was grounded.
Yeah. Well, you can commiserate with that, Mr. Snowball.
That's right.
You know what it's like.
Call me Mr. Snowball. They're going back and forth with their witty banter. Stuck, huh? Yeah, well, I've seen you stuck in plenty of other positions. Meanwhile, Michael's hanging outside because no one ever shuts doors or windows fucking around here. And he says, his parents left a half hour ago, and she suggests to walk over. And he says, come and pick me up. And she says, I can't. My clothes are in the wash. And then she's like, oh, shut up. That's all you ever think about. And he says, no, that's all you ever think about, which I kind of agree. Annie's a little slurt, and I like it. She's a little seductive mistress. She says...
That's not true. I think of plenty of things.
Yeah. So let's stop talking about them and get down to doing them. I love it.
You're right. Yeah.
But this is the part that I said, I'll tell you what, Paul really lucked out after all of this. All of his friends get murdered, basically. So thank God he didn't show up. But so Lindsay in the other room is watching The Thing, which famously John Carpenter did later, which is Zing Zing.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to leave, and Annie suggests that she take her over to Tommy's house because apparently those kiddos are friends and they live across the street. So she's like, yeah, I'll go. As a watcher, I'm relieved that they're getting out of that house. They're walking across the street together. As they get up to Tommy and Laurie's, well, I guess Tommy's house, Michael just pops up behind a car with the electric guitar, whatever. Terrifies me. And he's just heavy breathing,
fucking creepy.
Meanwhile, Laurie's carving pumpkins with Tommy. How wholesome.
It's so
a little jack-o'-lantern.
Really wholesome gal.
Yeah. They're carving pumpkins at the old Doyle residence when Laurie sees Annie and says, oh, fancy. when she sees what she's wearing. And I love that she's just like, this has not been my night. You know what? Been there, Annie. Laurie wants Annie at this point to call Ben Tramer back and tell him that she was joking about Laurie liking him and wanting to go to homecoming. And Annie quickly says, I can't, but I can talk to him in the morning if you agree to watch Lindsay while I go over and get Paul. There is a weird, just like the old Girl Scout comes through again. Laurie, who are you?
Laurie's our Girl Scout. She makes a lot of little comments like that. Like when they were walking, like earlier, Laurie says, like, when they're talking about the homecoming dance the next day, Laurie's like, oh, I have nothing to do as usual. And Annie's like, well, I don't feel sorry for you. You've done it to yourself. And she's like, boys don't ask me out. I think I'm too smart. And I thought, girl, and I love Laurie, but I'm like, first of all, that was a weird statement to make. Laurie, I don't know if that's it. I don't know. I don't ever think it's because boys think you're too smart. I think there's a lot of like that. That's a deep dive. I don't think it's the boys think you're too smart. But
that is a deep dive. Something ain't right.
Something more than that, baby. But
even in that moment, Annie was just like, well, I don't think you're smart. I think you're wacko. You're seeing men behind a bush and shit, bitch. But anyway, Annie goes back over to the house after Laurie agrees to watch the kiddos. And she goes to get in her car and she's, oh, Paul, I give my all. But no keys. She tries to open the door and it's locked. She doesn't have her fucking keys to the car. So she goes back into the house to retrieve them and she finds them in the living room. She goes back to the car and all of a sudden the car door's open. She didn't even put the key in it.
And she doesn't even notice it.
She doesn't even notice. She's singing to herself. I'm thinking this motherfucking Michael Myers is a crafty asshole. This
is one of the moments where I said, I want to see the behind the scenes footage.
Exactly.
Because I want to see him getting in, locking it, and then unlocking it when she comes out. Like, what? It would take away from the fear factor, like, unbelievably, if we could see him getting into these little positions and coming up with these little plots. Like, he would be so much more human, but because we can't see it and he just appears, it's so scary.
I went into a deep dive a little bit and I was just like, did he unlock it after she tried to get in, or was he already in there and had it locked and then unlocked it?
That's what I assumed.
That's what I was thinking. Either way, she opens the door, she gets in the driver's seat. She's kind of confused because it's foggy in the car, which suggests that he's been in there a little bit heavy breathing and maybe making some condensation on the windshield. So she's like, like looking at the damn windshield. He pops up from the back seat and starts choking her from behind, which scary. And also, don't we all just sort of look in the back seat before we get into a car, like at nighttime?
Because
like, isn't that just
like this? Yeah.
And maybe we learned from this from the 70s, but she's struggling and pressing on the horn. She's trying to do whatever she can. And again, no one hears or notices anything. Weird in this snoozy town. I will say that while she's in the struggle bus in the front seat, she's wearing these iconic yellow socks. I played a little bit of an homage. I can't even pull my foot up.
Aww. To you, Annie. You see that, Annie? He's doing that for you. He did that for you.
You know what? I got a yellow seat for Annie.
Everybody's favorite character.
She has these knee-high socks that are bright yellow. I love it. And she's wailing about. And then, you know what? He's just like, this isn't working. So he cuts her throat. Whew.
Yeah. R.I.P. She was
R.I.P.
great. She was great.
Annie Boo. Mm-hmm. She did wonderful. Iconic.
I did read that Jamie Lee Curtis, when she read the script, she wanted to play Annie. She felt like she fit that role a lot more because she was like a smart aleck. And I don't know whatever happened to make her take the role of Laurie, but that was the character that she gravitated towards. And I can totally see that, knowing Jamie Lee Curtis, who is like, I love that lady so goddamn much. I
Yeah.
would take a bullet for her. She is just so fucking cool. But I can totally see her in that role too.
We get back to Lindsay, who is in Tommy Doyle's house, zoned out, addicted to the TV. Tommy plays a little bit of a joke on her. He goes behind the window curtain, but then looks out the window to see, guess who? Old Mikey, carrying Annie's body into the house. And he's lost his noodle, and he says, like, oh my God, it's the boogeyman. Blah. Laurie comes in, and she's like, come on, you're scaring Lindsay, and like, I'm gonna have to turn off the TV and need to send you to bed. And he's just like, nobody believes me. And Lindsay is like, I believe you, Tommy. So they have this connection.
I think it's sweet because Jamie too is like, you're scaring Lindsay, like, stop it. And Lindsay's the one to stick up for him, like, no, you know what? I believe this guy. I believe he saw what he saw. He said what he said, and he saw what he saw. And so he's got a friend in Kyle Richards. I'll tell him that.
Fuck yeah. You know what? And they're going to be, is that the connection, like, later in the franchise? In, like, 6 or something?
Look, that's the one really good thing in Halloween.
Because is Paul Rudd Tommy?
In Halloween 6, he is Tommy. He is fucking weird. He's really weird in Halloween 6. And I was so excited to watch the movie because of Paul Rudd. I was like, this is going to be gold. And then I was like, I've never disliked Paul Rudd more. He's really weird in that movie. But in Halloween Kills, that's the trouble with Halloween Kills. There are some really good parts in Halloween Kills. The whole thing is fucking awful. There's no plot. But like the scene where all the people that have been like traumatized by Michael, like the nurse and Kyle Richards and Tommy Doyle, and they're all at this like bar, like bonding together. And I was like, you know what? That's kind of nice. I gotta dig it. Say what you want to say, but I kind of liked that. I thought it was
fest.
I thought it was nice. I enjoyed that part.
See, this is why I created so many outside opinions, because people are furious. I was furious too. Halloween Kills should have never been made. Loomis is still watching old Mikey's house when these I think is it the bullies from before? Either way, it's 3 rando kids, maybe. They come up to the house and they're daring each other to go up to the, go inside the Myers house. And Loomis from, the side of the bushes is like, Lonnie, get your fucking ass or whatever. Scares the shit out of them. Then the sheriff.
The only time we really see Dr. Loomis smile. I do want to point out, only because I never realized how serious this man is. And when he says, Lonnie, get your ass away from there, he kind of like does a little smile. And I'm like, this is the only time this man has been happy.
Give this man some levity. Honestly. He's been fucking talking to a deaf, mute kid for 15 years. He needs some light in his life.
True that.
True that.
One shining moment. So good for Loomis.
And then good old Sheriff Brackett taps him on the shoulder in another jump scare. And he's like, listen, Loomis, I'm not about to stay up here all night in these bushes waiting for this guy to come home. He said, you're going to need more than fancy talk to get me to stay in these bushes all night. Loomis calls back to him knowing, listen, this is what we got to do. I know he's coming home. I know this kid. I know, like, this is what's going to happen. The sheriff says, like, there's families here. There's children here. They're all lined up in rows. And he said, you're telling me they're lined up for a slaughterhouse? And Loomis says, that's a possibility. Right? Sheriff says, I'll stay with you just to make sure you're right. But if you're not, damn you for letting him go. Scary.
Like, it's Loomis's fault, though. Like, what the fuck? This was Loomis. Like, yo,
Loomis let him go.
Wasn't me. He told them how dangerous this dude was, and they ignored his warnings. So it's not Loomis, man.
So then we get LB Daniels, Linda, and Bob showing up to the house in their killer 70s van. And they're
American couple.
Oh my God. They're drinking, they're driving, they're having a good time. They're talking about how they're going to bang each other. There's we're going to Annie's going to create a diversion. Then we go up to the first bedroom on the left and we tear each other's clothes off and don't rip my blouse. It's expensive. And And I identify with that. Don't listen. I want you to rip my clothes off, but like, don't rip it, you know?
I think that is PJ Souls' weirdest moment. I hate that moment. Like, he's clearly kidding. Like, first I rip your clothes off, you rip my... Don't rip my blouse, stupid. It's expensive.
She's wasted.
He was...
She's fucking turned in the passenger side seat. She's been drinking, and she's like, you know what? I'm going to get some dick tonight, but don't rip my blouse. It's expensive.
It's probably true. PJ Souls had a good time. Yeah, it's true. That's true.
A good time. She totally had a good time. The amount of times she says totally, that should also be a side drinking game. Jesus Christmas.
Totally.
I love it, actually.
And I do think this is a good time to bring up how attractive Bob is.
Let's talk about it.
Bob is
Let's
the
do a
most
deep
good-looking man of the
dive.
movie. There's not a lot of men we can really talk about, though, so it's not a good thing to state. But
Yeah,
his
I mean,
glasses...
is it Loomis or is it Michael? You know, like, those are the options.
We got Sheriff Brackett. You just fucking threw him to the side. We got Brackett. We got Loomis. Got our boy Mikey. Kill. And
We
then...
haven't technically seen yet.
That's true.
But, you know.
So really all we have is, God, that's really, I never thought about that. We really haven't seen any men.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
At least,
maybe that's why he looks so good to us. He looks
Yeah.
good. He's attractive. He's got some really super cool, like, 70s eyeglasses on. He's a babe.
The aviators, whatever you want to call them. Either way, a true gentleman, though, because he opens her door. He carries her up to the door. Oh, Bob.
So
Oh,
cute.
Bob. It's totally dark outside. It's totally dark outside, and they get to the door, they push it open. It's totally dark inside.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say totally for the rest of my second half of this. So they start making out on the couch like two tweens do.
Sure.
And meanwhile, Michael is just watching them get busy because he just tossed Annie off to the side. And if we're going to talk about it.
This is one of his creepiest moments. Well, you know what? It's
Drink
even
to
more
that.
creepy later on, but like majorly creepy moment for Mike.
Mike is staring. And
big time.
yeah. And then we cut back to Laurie and the kids. Phone rings, and it's Linda Vanderclock. And I feel like I need to say her full name now that I know it. And she's asking Laurie where Annie went. And Laurie tells her that she went to get Paul, and she's probably not back because they stopped off somewhere. So Linda and Bob understand that they are alone, and they get to have a little fun. So they go upstairs and start getting to work.
Next to a pumpkin. I love the ambiance here. They literally are having sex next to like this perfect jack-o'-lantern. So spooky and fun of them.
Yeah. You know what? It's Halloween. Come on, get into it. Either way, they are unclothed in what seemingly is like the parents' bed, smoking a cig.
Yes, I love the post-coital, to quote Dara, cigarette. I was just like, wow. Can we bring it back? It was such a fun, simple time.
Also, the timing is not long.
Well, yeah, because like right before that, in the middle of their sexual escapades, the phone kept ringing. We don't know who it is, but it keeps like interrupting Bob's performance. Poor thing. And eventually they get back to it, and after they're done, Linda's immediately like, "Oh, that was fantastic. That was perfection. That was wonderful." And all Bob says is, "Yeah." He doesn't seem as satisfied as she. She seems real sad, which I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy. PJ
Linda.
Souls getting it. Linda. What's it? Linda Vander?
Clock. Linda Vander Clock. She got clocked that night.
Clocked. I am so happy for her. Especially what happens later on. I'm so grateful that she had this satisfying moment. But
yes.
She tells him to go get her a beer. And I think rightfully so. She deserves it.
Because we see all these men constantly, it was right before with Annie, like, come pick me up. It's like, literally the girl is picking you up. Come on.
Mhm.
Let's be a gentleman here.
Yep.
But meanwhile, Bob, perfect gentleman, is doing the most. And also truly goes to get her a beverage down in the kitchen. And he goes down there. The kitchen window goes off onto a patio and to the outside. So the door opens and we're like, okay, something's about to fucking go down. He goes to investigate and starts opening doors until he pulls one. Oh, he thinks Annie and Paul are playing a trick on him because the lights are out, whatever. He starts pulling doors open and cabinets. He looks in one, there's nothing in there. And then he pulls open the door and Michael pops out and starts choking him. Lifts him.
Like you said, electric, like,
yeah,
like...
the music. The music. He lifts this fucker up by his neck off of his feet, so we're getting a little bit of the strength. I mean, if he can lift a fucking headstone, he can lift good old Bob in his glassies. He lifts him off his feet, and then he just knifes him through the torso and sticks him right to the door.
It's very sad.
It was sad to see Bob go.
Bob, we got only a moment of him. We got like
know.
a second of sweet Bob.
Sometimes Sweetie's got to go, and you know what? If
That's
Bob,
on a t-shirt.
yeah,
Sometimes Sweetie's gotta go.
and it's just Bob stuck to a door.
Very sad.
Very sad. Just one stick of the knife. And honestly, if it was as big as when Michael was younger in that first scene, this knife is 2 feet long. So he is through his, torso. And this is where we get our like sort of like looking out scene side by side where Michael just like tilts his head.
Admires his work. It's so fucking strange. Like...
This is John Carpenter wanted him to do this because it was like observing a corpse.
I can't imagine. I don't know any serial killers, but I just don't know if that's what they would do. But like, it's just such a strange reaction to like kill somebody and then be like, that's interesting. Like it's kind of like the very beginning when they take his mask off and he's like, what? Like,
it's almost like he's confused that they're not moving anymore. He's like...
That's exactly what it is. It's not so much an admiration of work. It's like, that's weird. Their heart stopped.
Psycho.
It's weird. Like, and I'm sure that's part of the spookiness of it all. No.
And then Michael goes up to the bedroom with a sheet over top of him to finish Linda Vanderklok.
This is the funniest moment for Michael Myers. This is the most out of character because he is not funny.
You know what I will say? That he is slowly inching up in the rankings to be one of the hottest people in this movie because I haven't seen him. This is like a little bit of gay culture. We do blindfolds and stuff like that. However, a sense of humor. Fuck me. Bob showed me a little bit, right? Michael, full tilt, putting on a sheet and Bob's glasses, who he just stuck to a door.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't go with who he is. They make him out to be somebody who can't make these thoughts of like to do something like that. He's like a robot. Like, okay, let's go. And so for him to think this plot up of like, I'm going to put on this sheet, I'm going to put on these glasses, she's going to think I'm Bob, and it's going to be extra funny. That totally goes against the whole plot.
Either way, he gets up to said bedroom and pushes open the door. She peeps the little boobies at him. Again, Michael is getting free shows all night long. And this is a one-day occurrence. This is Halloween night only. And he is banging up. and she says, "What's the matter? Can I get your ghost, Bob?" Hot. Michael isn't amused with his glasses on top of the sheet. She wants her beer and then says, he's not answering because he's mute. So she says, fine, don't answer me. So she decides to call Laurie to see where Paul and Annie are because this is going nowhere.
Yeah.
And she gets Laurie on the phone, and Michael comes over from behind in his little sheet getup and starts choking her with the telephone cord.
And it's like one of those like coiled where that's like I was like, those ain't that easy to wrap around. I mean, you know what, that makes the shit very tough.
Real tough. She's kind of, if I'm being honest, she's a little overacting, but it's fine in this moment because we're
yeah. It is over the top.
Laurie thinks she's getting banged, but she is gasping for air. Laurie hangs up and calls back when she notices the lights in the house go on and then off. And she doesn't get an answer when she calls back, though. So she makes a decision to go over there as the kids are sleeping. Loomis, we get back to Loomy, DL. And he notices finally that the car that Michael drove home is in the neighborhood.
How is he just noticing that? That's crazy. Like, it's like he's at Michael Myers' house, he's looking, and then all of a sudden he looks behind him, and there's the car. It's like right behind him the whole fucking time. I'm like, dog, Mr. Evil is here. Like, how did not fucking notice that car? That literally car with like the stamp of the mental hospital.
It was right in front of you the entire time. Yeah. And then the music starts. So my heart is racing, and he starts to scour the neighborhood. Meanwhile, Laurie goes over to the house across the street, but she can't get in the front door, obviously. So she goes in through the back door. So Laurie thinks that they're playing hide and seek, kind of. And she's going through the living room. She's like, all right, meatheads, joke's over. Because she's a little bit scared, but also, after the shit that she saw earlier today, that she is like, it's not that big of a deal, whatever. Like, they're playing a joke, something. Right. She goes up to the room, the top of the stairs, to find Annie dead on the bed with Judith Meyer's headstone over top of her.
He is savage. He is savage AF. Like, whoa, dog. What? Like, and again, this is where I want to see do behind the scenes with Michael Myers. I want to see him like posing this huge, heavy gravestone, carrying her body. Like, he thought this shit out.
He's trying to create a motherfucking scene, and he did this shit fast as fuck, Mr. Sonic the Hedgehog. So, she goes over. I mean, she sees Annie, obviously, with the headstone. She is distraught, and she's like, with the whimpers, and then Bob swings on through. His corpse is just dangling from somewhere.
Like a gymnastics. Like
gymnastics.
It's weird. And then when she shimmies back to like a cupboard, and it just pops open inexplicably. It pops open, and there's
just
Linda.
Linda's just chilling in there. I mean, she looks great. She looks wonderful.
Like, you can kind of even see like her like cleavage is kind of peeking out. Like she looks beautiful. I don't know why her eyes are crossed, and I have no idea why that. Why are her eyes crossed?
She's toast.
Just close her eyes. Closed eyes would have been fine. They did not need to go that extra mile for people.
You know what? We do need to have a culmination of all of the girlies dying and Mr. Bob, who we think is cute. Okay. And either way, Laurie goes out into the hallway, and Michael just appears in the shadows because of his white mask. He inexplicably stabs her in the arm. Doesn't make any sense. He was choking everyone before. Either way.
Perhaps he's tired of playing the easy game. He's like, let me chase this gal. But it is weird. He like goes after her arm. He had a clear shot. He could have just done a full stabby moment for Mikey.
And then she falls back and over the banister and down the stairs.
Oh no, she doesn't break her neck. That is such a rough scene.
She did a full backflip.
Yeah. Rough.
Then the music starts because this is our chase scene. This is where we get it. She goes right to the neighbor. She's banging on their door. They look outside. They said, this bitch is crazy. I turn off all the lights. No one's helping her out.
That's crazy.
No one's helping her ass.
Them bitches.
They
Fuck
said, you need help?
them.
Not today. Not Halloween night. I think you're a fucking crazy kook. She had no motherfucking help. And honestly, I would have done the same thing. I would have went right to the neighbor. I would have said, somebody please help me. And she didn't get shit. So that's wild. But then she goes right back to the Doyle's residence. You know, I probably maybe would have kept running, you know, but maybe she does have a leg injury. Either way, she gets to the door. But again, you don't have a fucking key to get in.
They specifically show her grabbing her keys before she leaves. I don't know where them keys went, but they ain't with her.
Probably fell out of her pocket when she missed that banister.
She did tumble off that banister pretty hard. Yeah.
Then she's shouting for Tommy to let her in the door. She throws a plant up to the window to get his attention because she's not getting it. Meanwhile, Michael's just with his white face walking across the street.
Slowly.
I'm terrified.
Yeah.
I'm in this moment.
Like
I'm
most
lost.
like tension-filled moment of the like. He is so damn close to her, and that Tommy is just like, "What? Okay." And he's like slowly rolling his ass to the door. I'm like, "Oh dear God!" Like, homie, read the room. This is a moment to. This is an urgency moment.
He finally lets her in the last fucking breath of a moment. She gets inside. She screams to go upstairs. Get upstairs. She tries to use the phone to call for help. Phone line's out. Again, this is a disappearing act. You motherfucker cut the phone line. When? When did you do all this? This is another hidden moment. Either way, the phone line is out. But she also notices that the window is open. And the curtain's just blowing in the wind. So she probably assumes that he is inside. And she starts doing that whimper again. She sits on the floor, grabs her little knitting needle. When he pops up from behind the couch and stabs the cushion, he missed. He misses it. She turns around and, like ninja, fucking stabs him right in the neck with a knitting needle, which they're long. They're kind of right there. Mm-hmm. It's a little deep. So he falls back to the wall and like takes it out and then falls to the floor. And I'm thinking like, is it over? Is this it?
That's what she's thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we get to Loomis, who is outside. He checks in with the sheriff and tells him, he's here. I found the car. He's here. He's in Haddonfield. Laurie, then we cut back to that, goes up to the kids and tells them that it's over. Tommy is saying like, was it the boogeyman? I've been talking about that all fucking night. Right? Nobody believed me. She's just like, yeah, it was, but you know what? It's over. And he says, you can't kill the boogeyman. As Michael makes it to the top of the stairs and starts coming after her. Another scary moment. And then the music. Dun, 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 dun. My heart's racing. Laurie goes and lets the kids in wherever. She opens the door to the bedroom as like a diversion and then like goes and hides in the closet.
This is a really dumb plan because like, look, here we go. This dude, he comes around the corner. Mm-hmm. He is looking right in her eyes. And she's like, oh, God, oh. And she's like, kids, go hide in the closet. And then she goes and hides in the closet. The door to this bedroom where they do all this hiding is wide open. And Michael is standing right here. He's seeing this. And here he comes.
I would have jumped off the fucking balcony. I would have said, fuck these kids. I'm out of here. I would have scaled down somehow. Come on.
agree.
She's panicked. She goes in the closet. She sits down and he just walks up to the fucking closet and starts pulling on it. But, you know, she tied a little rope around the... Was it a rope? It was something around.
Something around like the knobs.
Yeah, so he can't get in.
Yeah.
So he just pushes through, going right through the closet, through the little slats, and tries to go after her. This scene for me is the most anxiety inducing because the light in the closet is swinging back and forth with his white ass face and terrifying.
Yeah.
She gets a little clothes hanger, unravels it because it's one of those like metal ones,
Wire,
right?
Yeah.
Wire. She unravels it and she pokes him right in the eye. And he falls back. He drops the knife, right?
She got him good. He dropped his fucking weapon. Just right in the closet. Just like plop.
So he drops the knife. She retrieves said knife and then stabs him. God. So he falls back. She's like, Jesus Christ, let it be over. And she gets out of the closet. She walks, you know, just around him. Then she drops the knife. She wasn't thinking.
It was
Let's
a
just say that.
superficial wound too, because she was like, "Oh, yeah." Like it wasn't like a, it was like a meh, meh. When it's like a poo poo versus a poo poo, it's different. She maybe got like a couple cuts in him, but I don't think she like stabbed his heart. Like it wasn't like a kill. And even the first time I watched this, I was like, dude, what? You're dropping the knife after that kind of like, that's when you go back and you boom and you boom and you boom and you do your extra shots because this man is clearly unkillable. He didn't die after you stuck him in the neck with a fucking needle.
Yeah.
This dude ain't dying.
This dude ain't dying. Ain't that some shit? So she thinks it's over. She's tiptoeing around him. She gets to the hallway. She knocks on the closet. She gets the kids out and she says, this is what I want you to do. I need you to go get help. I need you to go down to the neighbor's house, tell them to call the police, like crazy shit. So the kids, they run out of the house screaming, which catches the attention of Mr. Loomy, DL, who's aimlessly walking around the streets. And then we go right back to Laurie. She is, you know, sitting down. She's exhausted. I would be too. Somebody was coming after you.
Major fight.
While she's doing that, she's off in the distance looking like, thank God it's over. Meanwhile, Michael, right behind her in the same shot, sits up from his laid down position. And we're like, oh, fuck. Shit ain't over. So she stands up. She's, you know, got tears in her eyes. She's going out to the hallway. Meanwhile, he comes from behind her and starts choking her. Meanwhile, Loomis comes up the top of the stairs. In the scuffle, Laurie manages to pull the mask off of Michael. And we see our first glimpse of the actor, whatever his name is.
I think it's Nick Castle. There were multiple people that played it, but this is a young guy who's got like a bum eye. Like something's wrong with his eye.
He does have a bum eye. You know what? And it's not like, I mean, I kind of want to like harken back to Goonies and say it's a little sloth like, but he's got something.
He's got something. He's got like a handsomeness to him.
It's not the touch of feel of Cotton, but it is
no, not the touch of feel of Cotton, but he's got like this is the first time I realized like this is a young man. Yeah. Ain't bad. Not what we were expecting. It's not what I was expecting. I was like, oh, what?
You know what? And we all want to see a reveal sometimes, and we got our reveal. And you know what? I said I might take Bob. Mm-hmm. I'll take Bob now. Mm-hmm. Who's swinging from the rafters. You know. she pulls off the mask. He goes to, slowly put it back on and fit it to his face. Loomis gets to the top of the stairs, and before he puts his mask on, shoots him. Shoots him outside, and every shot just pushes him back further and further outside of the parents' balcony, falls over the balcony and onto the grass, seemingly dead. There is a banter between Loomis and Miss Laurie Strode, and she's crying, and through her tears, she is, saying, like, is it over? Like, was that the boogeyman? And he says, yeah.
As a matter of fact, it was.
As a matter of fact, it was. And then we get, music. Well, obviously we get to see him on the grass, and then we have the conversation, and then we come back to where his body lies, and it has, guess what? Disappeared. Because you can't kill the motherfucking boogeyman.
Boogeyman. Obviously, if Halloween Kills has taught us anything, it's that man cannot be killed.
No. I love it. It's my favorite horror movie ever because I'm still scared today. And you know what? We're just going to roll this into my rating, which is obviously a 0 because I'm still terrified. It still feels very real. It still feels like a stalker thing can happen. And the directing, the music, God damn.
Yeah.
I'm so interested in the characters. I'm so interested in the acting. I think, it's not, I don't think there is such a thing as perfection in anything. And I think that this for me is the closest that it can be.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. It's my favorite movie, just period. This is the movie that really got me into horror. This is the first horror movie I ever really watched, and it made me fall in love with the genre because look, like, horror movies can be really frightening. They can be really over the top. They can be really jarring. They can be scarring. And this is such a scary movie. It is terrifying, but like it didn't scar me. It just made me love the genre. It made me really excited about it, made me interested. It made me want to watch more movies like it. And I think that's why it's so special to me. I think that's why it's on such a pedestal to me that no other Halloween movies can touch it. No other horror movies can touch it. It's just really, it's perfection to me. I think it's perfect. I think it's special. It's 0 Stoly Dolies. He's perfect.
Here at Stoly Doly Scaries, we like to rate our movies on a scale of 0 to 5 or whatever you want to call it for how many Stoly Dolies would it take for you to enjoy this film? And we have just described that this is our most favorite. 0.
Yeah. Well, happy Halloween, everybody, because this will be airing on Halloween. Happy Halloween, our favorite holiday. We love you all so much, and we are so appreciative of you for tuning in and listening. It means so much to us. If you like us, please subscribe, please comment. It means so much to us. And until then, don't babysit, okay? Fuck them kids. That's what I say. 'Em.